how's it going? So I have for you the Gold Rush Mining Kit Real Concentrates. It's got an 8-inch bowl. I already opened it up and I forgot to hit record, so we'll pretend to do it again. So what does it come with? It comes with some concentrates. Now it doesn't specify if there's any gold, but it's got a little vial in there. And it comes with a 3-ounce plastic snifter bottle. I always call it a snuffer bottle. What do you guys call it? Snifter? Snuffer? I don't know what the correct nomenclature is. I use the parlance of our times, and I call it a snuffer bottle. And it has a 8-inch pan with some small riffles and some coarse riffles. We got to prep this pan. It still has that new pan smell. So let me get some water, and we'll get prepped here, and we'll see if there's any gold in this sucker. All right, we're back. So what do you need to season a new gold pan? Well, sometimes if you're just out in the field and you forget about it, you just rub some sand on it. Really, what are we trying to do here? Well, we're just trying to get some of this slick off, and it has some shipping oils, and gold can float away from you. We don't want slick. We want friction. Friction's our friend here. So you can use jet dry. I just use our Finish, Rinse Aid, whatever, jet dry, and or Dawn dish soap. Either way, I use some Dawn. Get some water in the pan, get it wet. You see how the water's just kind of beating off there? We don't want that. So we'll throw some dish soap on there. And you can reuse, steel wool, an abrasive pad. I got some 400 grit sandpaper. I'm just going to scrub the pan here with this sandpaper. Trying to scuff it up. And we're not trying to, scuff it up a ton. We're just trying to get that oil off there, and naturally over time, as you use your gold pan, it'll get seasoned, so to speak. You'll get a lot of those grooves and scratches, and those grooves will hold on to that gold. And again, if you don't have this, you can just go grab some sand. From the beach or wherever you're doing your prospecting. Yeah, now it's got a much rougher look, or rougher feel to it. Get some of those riffles there. Yeah, that'll do the trick. So let's see what we got here. Got our concentrate bag. We got our vial. It's a small one. I doubt we'll fill it, so we got plenty of room for more adventures. And I'm by no means a prospecting expert, but we'll dump it in there. Looks mostly fine. You could classify it, but I feel like living on the edge. We want to get it nice and wet. And then we'll just get some water in there. And we're going to stratify this stuff. So gold is heavier than the sands, and it's all going to settle to the bottom. So we're just agitating it so that gold just works its way down to the bottom. And we'll give it a couple shakes, work it around, wet all of our material. And also, anytime you do any panning, especially at home, in a tub like this, you're going to want to use dish soap or jet dry. I prefer jet dry, but the dish soap was just to get these oils off, but it'll all work. And what that does is it breaks the surface tension of the water to keep that gold from floating on you. It'll sink it all to the bottom. Well, gravity sinks it to the bottom, but you know what I'm saying. No one ever accused me of being a smart guy. But like I tell my kids, it's better to be a smart ass than a dumbass, right? So I think we've stratified. Now we're just going to work some of this material off the top. So all the light stuff, theoretically, let's just see what I'm doing here. All the light stuff should have floated to the top or worked its way up to the top, and the heavier stuff settles to the bottom. So now we're just going to pull this material off. We have some bigger rocks. We'll go ahead and work those back, just like that. We'll make sure they're not nuggets. Nope, no nuggets. We're gonna stratify it again here. Pull all of our material back down. And we're going to wash all that light stuff off the top. Oops, sorry for shaking the camera on you. Get some water in there. I'm usually pretty aggressive when I pan. Pretty violent. Now here in Minnesota, we're not known for big gold. But if you're out panning the streams, you can't use a sluice in Minnesota. You can't use any kind of mechanical means. And a sluice box, I guess they consider mechanical means of panning. So you can do recreational panning with a pan. I've also taken a nugget bucket out there because that's basically all that is classifying and panning. Maybe we'll do a video on that. Yeah, we'll just wash this stuff off, get all the light material off. I see some more heavier gravels that have settled down. I see our first piece of gold. So maybe there is some gold in here. You know, not expecting much. I think this was just right around between $20 and $25. But that'll get you everything you need to get started, plus some concentrates to mess with in the garage. And I'll take all these tailings, as we call it, when they fall out of the gold pan. I'll take all those tailings and do them again. We'll just wash this off. And we're starting to see, I don't know if you can tell in this light, but right down here, we're starting to see some black sands. Black sands, hematite, magnetite. Those are heavier than your traditional sand, or blondes, they call them. And those will tend to fall down, and your gold is going to be mixed in with those. So we'll just keep stratifying. Oh, I'm starting to see gold here. Oh, there's more than I thought. Let's switch over to our fine riffles. I still got some more gravels in here. I don't know if you can pick that up. I'll pull those gravels. It's okay to use your fingers. We'll pull those gravels out. You kind of want everything to be about the same size. Makes it a whole lot easier. I just didn't want to classify just this little bit of material. And we'll get that last little non-nugget gravel out. We'll get some more water in there. And now we're going to use our fine riffles. We're down to a couple of tablespoons. Work all that black sand from that other corner back out here. And now we'll just pull our material. We're getting a little bit gentler. And you can see I'm kind of tilting the pan closer and closer to vertical as we get out. And I'm keeping an eye on these riffles down here, making sure I don't see any shinies. We don't want any gold to get away on us. But as you're starting out, you're going to lose some gold, I'm sure. And then we'll wash all that back down. I'll tilt the pan back a little bit, get everything out of those riffles, and work it back down to the bottom of the pan. And again, this is great. Stuff like this where you get a full kit with the concentrates, and you don't need a fancy tub like this. I recommend not doing it in your kitchen sink, but anything is just slightly bigger than this. You don't even really need, a lot of water. Yeah, I might even have too much water in here. I'm gonna have to go dump it. But the nice thing is you can take these tailings, and you can go through them a bunch. And as you get better and better, you'll have less and less gold leaving your pan. At least that's the general idea. See, I'm just letting all that light stuff. Gold's going to stay at the bottom, so not too worried about it. If there's any gold in there, it'll come in those riffles. Then we'll dunk our pan and work those material in the riffles back down. That's our heavier stuff, the stuff that stayed in the riffles. Tilt it back a little bit. And you can go a lot faster than this as you get more practice. This is my first pan of the season. I haven't gone out prospecting in a while. Everything's just now starting to thaw out. So our lake just, it's the first week of April, and our lake is already clear, so there's no ice. We're open water, which is unusual for this time of year. All right, I think we're good. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to flood my pan, work everything into one corner here, and kind of see I'm working it all to one side. Just keeps it manageable. Stratify a little bit. Dump out all but just a little bit of water. See, I just got just a little bit of water. I'm going to start pulling this material back. And I'm looking down in the pan here to see if I see any gold. Let me adjust you so you can see a little better. There you go. I don't see any yet. But I did see some earlier, so I know there's some in there. And all I'm doing is letting the kind of the mini wave action work the lightest of the light material. And I'm keeping an eye in here just to see if I see any gold. I don't see any yet. Of course, you can also give it a little tappy tap on the side, just kind of separate stuff out. Now, I don't know if you can see that, but I'm starting to see a little bit of shiny in there. You can see I got some big rocks, or not big rocks. I got some gravel in there. I'll pull that gravel out of the way. And again, nothing's going anywhere. We're not losing any material. It's all staying right here in the pan. And what got away from us in the pan is still down in here. All right. Let's see what we got. I'm starting to see some gold. How about you? Oh, there we go. Man, I wish I found gold this big in Minnesota. Those two rocks, we'll move that back. We'll just get some more of that black sand out of there. Those are some fairly decent sized flakes. That if that's the kind of stuff we found in Minnesota, I'd be super excited. So I'll show you what we got here. Do you see that? That gold colored stuff? That's gold colored stuff. Well, more specifically, it's gold. Yeah, so what you do now is you just keep working this stuff, separate out your black sands. I don't really use a magnet all that often, but you could. I'm sure some of that stuff's magnetic. Help you separate it out even farther or further. See, we got a little runner on us. I don't know if you can see that, but that little piece of gold is sneaking away. So I'm going to move it up here. Careful, because see how it's floating there? Look at that. I don't know if you can see that. It's floating on top. So I wasn't lying that gold can float. We'll just ever so gently move the rest of that black sand out of there. There's some micro gold in there, some real fine stuff. You know, minus 100 mesh, or 100 minus mesh. We'll push up that gold. And there we go. That's the next thing you do. We got all that gold there. It's fairly separated out. We got some more cleanup we can do. But then you'll take your snuffer bottle, or snifter bottle. You'll fill it up with some water here. Just like that. Put the cap back on. And take off this little cap. We'll pull it out a little bit. So now what you're going to do is you're going to squirt some water out of it, just like that. And we're going to let suction pull that gold up. Let gravity do its work here. And now, what should happen is that we'll get the rest of it later, but what should happen is all that gold goes down into your sniffer bottle, and of course some black sands are going to go with it. This way you can keep all your gold. I'm just going to dump it back in here because I'm going to play a little bit more. There we go. Here's our gold. Yeah. So what do I think? Well, I think if you're just starting out, or if you're really bored like me, this is a great little kit. Comes with a small gold pan. Now, gold pans, that's an 8-inch pan. And then I think here we have a 10-inch pan. Now, these are 10-inch pans. You can kind of see, obviously bigger than the 8-inch pan. And then you can get 12-inch pans. And this is my favorite gold pan. This one's newer. I have a couple of these, but this is the Garrett Super Sluice. And I think this sucker's 14 inches, maybe 15 inches. And it's, I can't get it all in frame, but it's a heck of a pan. And it's great for when you're out on the river. And then if you're really feeling froggy, you can get an 18-inch pan. But what I'll end up doing is I'll just put water in this and I'll pan into this instead of a tub like this. So it's still handy to have. And why do I have so many gold pans? Well, I have a lot of kids. I have 6 kids, so we use a lot of gold pans. We do a lot of family outings. This is a great way to go out to the kids, to the river, to the creek, wherever. Spend some time panning for gold. Maybe if it's too cold for swimming, it's never too cold for gold panning. And you get the snuffer bottle, and you get a little vial to keep all your gold in. Yeah, so I like it, and we actually did find some gold. You see there, you can see it's better underwater. You see we did get some gold there. So there is something to practice with. I'll post a link to this stuff if you're interested. Yeah, that's great. I have some more gold pan kits. I have some more concentrate panning kits that we'll be testing out as we get ready for the weather to warm up a bit. Anyway, I hope you found that useful. As always, thanks for watching.